Well, hello there everyone and a welcome to Leeds. Today we're here in the Class 800 and Class 801 Fire Snurrer Mate, a Sunstring to Good website, which is the full run from King's Cross to Skipton with train 1T6. For you do we need to first of all disconnect the rear, we'll use the front 5 is not the rear 5. So we will kill the desk. Pull back to go. And we will use the front panel here to detach. But we also determine mate ratio to say that the patch is up. And now run it. We've turned that to the opposition, key off. Just to ensure what we're pressing it to terminate which we do. So trip back to the front cab. Or what is now the front cab I should say. Then we attach the rear 5, that was to the front 5. Welcome to the Zoom, isn't it great? And we'll release the doors on the right hand side in the direction of travel. Those will ensure 25, yeah, just 25 of those sort of speed limit. But we're asterisk on the top from starting signal, so I'm going to lead it to don't think we're set. And we'll set our headlights to full. So these folks is the Max Tracks Leeds in North West Street. So this is Leeds to Bradford, Skipton and Oldkane. And today we're doing an only Arizona service from here in Leeds up to Skipton. So these two trains, the 801 has been pinging around on Leeds for shuttles all day, I believe. And the 800 has been doing the Newcastle's. They've attached in King's Cross. And we just brought them to Leeds in part 1. In part 2, they divide again. And the. With me. It is accurate for them to use a speed limiter. Well, I show you at 225, but so. Let's fuck it, why not? Okay. As I was saying, sorry, before I really interrupted myself, it is not uncommon, like I say, for them to be used on. So, can't speak. The way the application is basically, like I say, that they attach. And the Class 800 that's been doing Newcastle all day, it goes to Doncaster IET depot, and we then do this run and then return this unit to Neville Hill depot in Leeds for servicing. Waiting for going to pass it. Wait until we pass this 35 checks that right. No, it's alright, we're running in 25 meters while they're offering, so that just gives us an idea of how we'll need to extend. But roughly till we pass this repeater. We throw us all to neutral. I can tap up. Over to the embassy on the next. But sorry, very gradually, not for one up to 35. So, I was actually chatting to some recruits who operate this, and they were saying that basically, they sit in Leeds so long, you've got time to slowly walk over to the other one of the other platforms, and get on a northern that goes in front of this train, and we'll get you to Skipton at 5 minutes ahead. So, yeah. So that's that everything I'll be catching after some most of this run today. But I just think that actually adds to the fun of the game, if anything. Skips makes it a bit more fun experience for us. So again, demand the same time, but X, we're really catching the train ahead up. Why not? Let's go for another chain. Push it out. Push the ball out. Already so just approaching the crossover here. And we're to continue straight ahead, we'd run out of wires very rapidly. But it's assuming we could get there with the Class 801, because obviously the 801 is the accurate version of the Zuma. And we've only got the one generator unit. Assuming we could get there, we'd get up to Harrogate eventually, and then continuing from Harrogate, where the Zuma's never gone, we could then go around through Medborough, and rejoin the East Coast Main Line and arrive into York. And do the Harrogate loop. 35. So I do enjoy this little ride. It's a lovely route this, really well built. And so technically speaking, we are within an A2 a minute now. You know what? Let's just shut it. Let's go for it. We'll just do very slow tricks on right today. Lodge turn. Keep her accelerating. Get her up to speed. Fine. The active encouragement on this, that is, yeah, just move it, it'll try and this. A 66 on the front. It's going from a quarter near Skipton to Doncaster. I told you don't keep that Doncaster yard at Doncaster depot. Sorry, I got confused because I've been talking about a car depot for the this extremely in Syria to 90 here. I'm trying to stay at 80 because I can see we're catching signals again. So we're just catching the train ahead up, so it's not worth accelerating for it. We're close down from the 18 and so we're right in the train downstairs the speed limiter, but then we're just gonna just take the hand off the throttles out while it comes back. Our next speed change is we changed down to 75 and that's entering properly tunnel. Now I just came here in the real world, actually it's quite alarming. It was actually the line to LK here that we passed, and basically in a McDonald's, which is in a what I know you described as a sort of a restaurant of the 90s, if that makes sense to any of you in here. It's sort of like a roadside sort of little chef kind of maneuver that been converted into McDonald's, and it was really a strange experience. It was sort of, yes, it was a McDonald's, but like it didn't feel like a McDonald's. I went all the way up past Skipton, and it ended up being settled to see a mother who accompanied a friend who wanted to go and see them, buy some things off them. So, we went from Doncaster to Newcastle. The drive normally takes, or normally take 2.25 hours. We took close at 5 hours because we went off to Settle, did some stuff in Settle, then went to Ribblehead Viaduct because it would be rude not to send to reply, and hung all right, and then went over the moors, ended up near a bridge called Catterick. Well, it was just power off. Tap up to 90, but power off. And then went up to Newcastle from there. Which didn't really a lovely day out. Like, I normally spend like 8 hours with it, and because someone I got with really well, I'm not going to name one here, even though you guys probably figure out some stuff that he posts, his socials. But he's someone I hang out with on a very rare basis, but what I do, I genuinely thoroughly enjoy it. The break in now. That's thrown off. I can see the guy that's thrown off a single. So we'll just coast at 65. Like I said, the train ahead of us will be stopping, so we will catch it if it's okay, so find an average speed and sit there. They're torn off for double by the time we've arrived. Ideal. There weren't the neutral sections here, so I do believe they're actually parts of ECBs. Yes, it goes right again. We are running on front can. That's not necessarily realistic for any of our operations. However, I wanted you to actually have the detachment involved as something that you did as a player. And I know currently we're moving to front can operations soon on that 9s and 5s. Well, when I say soon, I mean in the future. In the future. I can need a button to like truck reset on that. Some demand right ahead. Now, one of the great things that comes with this route is a AI only class 333. But the trucks that look like that cabbage looks like a goldfish, but they're actually quite good trains to ride on. That's the artillery bridge, so artillery tunnel, sorry, artillery bridge. There are 20 it'll go. Idle. That's pulled off. Now we go to 35 limits, which is press 35 then. Number 6, sorry, in that one, this is the single end. People are coming from a lot of HSTs, not YTs lately, but there's just good runs available for them, you know? I will do an article on the 321 probably on this route as well. But if you want to cover as much of this route as let's want to just go. Let's head to all the runs available on Leeds and Northwest. And sort of turn it all off in like 2 days. Well, 2 weeks, but you know. What sort of enjoy it and take close time. One wants to take close time with it. Nope, just delete. Number 333. Believe that is. No, that, what is that I say? That sounded like a diesel. I was 158. Sorry about that. Over at a multiple for 30. Friends, because I'm still on a single amber. I'm still on a single amber, but see we know right ahead. There we go, we're trick 30, and so we're going to take any power, so I'm quickly reduce speed. Brakes out. Post to at 40. And see the red signal ahead. You actually bring it down to 30. You can. So the Skipton is an interesting road for how they are. On a morning it's allocated as a 9 cup zero. Saying that as a 9 cup zero, sorry, as a GG5 set. And it's then on an afternoon run for the 5 cars. In the morning it's not allocated as G25 because it's a particularly big sort of busy thing from Skipton, but it takes up quite a bit in Leeds normally. And then from there, you know, so basically, because it basically has a chef had breakfast on board, but the chef board it leaves before it goes to Skipton. So if you get on here, there's a plenty of fried breakfast, even before you get to Leeds. Pull off for a double, but we're going to stay at 30 because we know what we need to be slow for. So to show you on the map where we are. So we've covered this much of the route. This is the way up to Ilkley, Bradford Foster Square. And this here is Skipton. Now you can see there's a whole lot of extra track up here towards Settle. One of my scenarios goes all the way up there, but there's no scenery. It's Ralstone, Ralstone, well, except between the two as usual. With a pretty big quarry on the route though. And you get some pretty good little runs on this route from there, and next you can start all the way about the quarry, drag your train down to the main line, and then continue on to either Doncaster or Hunter and Leeds. So to show you the route goes. So this is Leeds, and you've got Neville Hill Depot. Just about this train's going to end it today. And then down here you've got Hunsrück sidings, and that is that. Yeah, this is Shipley. So Shipley's one of the very few stations. The Brandersing on the next. Would be great for Bradford to know them down, but we don't. So this is Shipley. You can see it's a triangle, so you end up with trains towards Skipton, trains towards Bradford, and trains, of course, back towards Leeds. And then you also got a platform here, so you can run from Bradford to Shipley. Pretty touchings. It's quite an interesting station just in the centre of how it's laid out. But like, in terms of, for example, if you want to get a train towards London, you've got to, train towards Leeds, you've got to go, buy your ticket, walk across all over here, whoop, whoop, or off this platform, or train towards Skipton, or a train that's going from Skipton towards London. Basically, if you get on the wrong platform to pay in the butt, I've normally take a quick run over a bridge or through an underpass, but here it's like a cross-country run, basically. And we'll keep the energy low. It's just turned to a 90, which we're already in. I didn't check when I've been flying around as much because to do route runner, like, and actually be good at it, you've got to stay in the cab and focus on what's around you, like a real driver does, right? Like, real drivers don't talk and don't have a camera with them for a reason. But, sir, would you draw liberties here at Northern Princess Industries? Let's just match the power in. Try with whole rocketing way up to mountain. The Z was a really fast accelerating, to be fair. But it's the other thing I really enjoy about this route is the methods of scenery you've got. So that's really the distance scenery, but also just the way the weather works in this scenario. Like, for the fact that this is got more 10+-year-old game, I think this is as old as GTA 5, and Skipton never has this, never in a million years has the same budget as words are hard, Rockstar Games. So yeah, my cognitive skills are really bad actually. They've been going down a lot, and it's quite concerning. Anyway. Oh, we're not burning myself for speed limit, so I need to put myself into idle as we continue around the curve at speed. I was about to cry, but no, that wasn't the situation I thought it was. Just to show you where we are again. So we're approaching Keighley now. So we're from the way a freight airplane. The whole dairy coats to Rillstone. And then in front of him is a big Skipton. It just shows how busy this line gets. In certain seconds of the day. But we don't know even a class 6, you know, that's our friend, we're not going to get another 60. So really, we could lock in and just sit at 60 and probably be fine. But, you know, it's all fun to push up, but this throw off and that kind of stuff. 60 warning, we're not, but we're breaking. That single underwear ahead of time, more concerned about that, so work with the signal, the speed restriction. 85. We're at 50 now. I do wish we had the proper count for the 800s. It is quite immersion destroying. Looking at the APT speeder and then also into the north east of the north, the west country. With the captain. Apologize for TC for that. What happened there was I was driving drinking at the Merchant Photo. And that's Kiwi Brigham. Kiwi has got quite on the platform, so with that, I'm breaking traffic, but it'll be right. This is Kiwi. So even our first time visiting Keighley in the series, even though it's our first time at the mainland station here at Keighley. There were stores on the left again. So knowing on these, the kitchen door opens as well. There's no one in the kitchen. And the seats from the on the side. But anyway, this is Keighley Station. So this is the part we visited in on the Keighley Worth-Harry Railroad. So this is here. The zoo doesn't continue very far because why would it? But you go right up there to your name station in that line. That's been that close to that video. But with the closing, we're going. So the good thing about Keighley Station is we're set down over here. You're doing the really first reverse set. Let's go. There's the crinkle of the door, seals pressurizing. I do believe it's pneumatic seal in the cabs. On the sliding corridors, it's a motor that sort of pushes against them with a rocker. And it pushes the door closed, or pushes the door sort of flush against the exterior of the train. So when everyone shits themselves in hammers in real life when they hear it for the first time. But it sounds like the doors are actually open. But basically there's a little motor that sort of pushes the doors quite open and you're clumped almost in past your compartments. We're looking out for a semi-throttle. And full power goes in. We're up to 60 within station for long enough to let's go for it. Later I'm doing safe. Absolutely not. So I know I came in under another signal, so I got rid of the subflag. Some substantial risk resides bad, but we're a great aspect. So I got away with it this time. And soy spot is a starter in yellow. So you start yourself for a signal. Or you take another signal, I should say. And you basically got, as you pulled away again, and the first signal hadn't been pulled off. So, for whatever reason, that freight service, the freight service had us come to a stand. Let's say you were to act on text train or something, and obviously we would have caught him up then. And in theory, we come on a single number, the next signal could still been down by the time we got to it. But in your head, what you do is you do what I said there, and you go, well, that's where we find so we're sort of right away from it. And, the train will move to the enemy look flipped. It might not have, or they might have granted a line blocked to for a moment to access the train. You don't know. That's great, I go straight up to 90. This is 90 miles an hour, this is the quickest we're going to get the trolls around. We'll put the brake in there, 72 to right ahead again. How gorgeous is this? So the sun's just set behind the hill. Maybe to West Yorkshire into North Yorkshire. It is a gorgeous going this dump. From tiny gag to down with Jessica. So actually we're currently ahead of us, so wherever it's led to a signal. Signal to 4-4 is just started from a signal. After 2 Hotel 72 is just carrying a signal. Either we up or out the way, then we'll pull into Skipton Paddingham. England is put off a single again. So probably very slowly, I take out there, we're slowly. We're in sort of gonna go for not one. There's power. I should set right back up. In. There. Single under right ahead. Trail break application. In initially about 20%. Two stops giving the street back off and keeping an eye around the curve. No, this isn't Skipton yet. Been in this station before. Again, I really love to start off as a detail in the street, so one of the things I noticed we've been flying past. I remember there's one along here somewhere. I feel this is definitely a candidate for one of the most detailed routes we've seen so far in Train Sim Classic. I can't find it now, but there is a closed trailer warning system. Where's it called that? Where you basically my crate. Well, when it's turned out, basically. Basically, what will happen is the track workers turn the system when they go on the track. And when they're on the track, my train entering there, it basically causes the alarm to go off. And they're like, there's a train, I should get out the track. And they do. And that way I don't kill people. I don't like killing people, it's bad. It is annoying that I can't see the signal yet, because it just makes my head go, well, I'm not sure it's gonna have told off by then. Yeah, I should continue as it has, but also, I know I can't. Yeah, there you go. It's still out first, but I can accelerate a little bit. We'll set my speed limiter for 60. Even the upcoming warning. Now it's actually start accelerating. Just, coasting. So I believe this. Let's put off to a green. Let's go straight for 6. Let's go, bro. Come on. Do. Do. Nothing is snapping through the Antares. The good news is, 1.1 miles to go, and we've got that, and like, well, 0.8 miles to a 45, and there's a 45 into platforms. I'm just saying that cut out before I took a rubric application. I took my reassert. It is probably too early to speak, but this is the first video in a while where I've not actually committed enough operations, and I'm quite pleased with myself. Turns out, the more is the door trying really well to each most people. Let's arrive into Skipton. on her the AWS, sorry, the GSD kind of reforms today as well, which is really interesting. Now we're here, 810 at Skipton, we need to start a countdown. From basically change the ends. So what will happen here is the guards want to kick everyone off the train, and we'll change the ends, get ready to head back out towards what would take us the empties, and I think if follow what we were sitting on the before our line back, so it's a really painful road out. That's in Northern. That's the Northern we'll follow. Check where we're two behind. And this is Skipton. And here have got local bus services. No, I'll show you the train, the freight train we directly followed in. I'm stopping here for the signal, not the station. However, I was want to get quite close to the end because that belongs to platforms here. Even though I am there for the platform in theory, we want to hit with stop markers. If possible. Didn't have a stop marker on the left. Go. First shoot my desk off. Let's fix the headlights to tail lights. We'll change ends to the back cab to take the train back off to Leeds. Thanks for support. I quite enjoyed today's little outing. Hopefully you guys did too. If you did hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe to see more from me on a very regular basis. Until next time, bye-bye. But first, let's have a look at that freight train. Hope our diesel locomotive. So it's a record J&A's with 66,784, the Killianworth Valley Railway. So that's literally it, trundle past there. So it sits here, basically it waits for a shunter to arrive. So it can run around and head up the branch line. So the branch line takes us up this way towards Rillstone. But like I say guys, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.